Booyah! It's your boy Talent. You know what it is. Don't take it personal. It's just comedy. Rocking with F HOLLYWEIRD, and you should too. Alright, let's get it popping. F HOLLYWEIRD. Look out, baby. Coming your way. Deuces. You know what I mean?
One thing I want to, 23 years. That's a long time. Some people don't last 3 or 5 years.
Yes.
How have you been able to maintain a career? Because we don't see you in a lot of movies, but
Right.
you still stay current. Talk a little bit about, being on radio, just maybe people who have helped you.
Right.
And just, what about talent? What about talent? Because I remember the Apollo.
Right.
And I remember all that stuff. And then the opportunity to meet you with,
Apollo is like probably the best what I call a full circle story of part of my legacy. Now, 23 years, you get to be here this long, first and foremost, by, again, being very serious about your craft, putting in everything that you need to put in with the craft. So I start out as a stand-up comedian. My story is my first couple of years is kind of bad because when you come from the hood, hood props are everything to you. And Def Jam wasn't my first tape. So when Def Comedy Jam came out and I didn't get on that and tape, it kind of put me in a predicament where I had to get my hood props,
Right.
so to speak. So my first TV taping was Showtime at the Apollo as a guest comedian. When I did that first taping, I got a standing ovation, which was unheard of at the Apollo. So wherever I sent that tape, there was no place I sent it that didn't hire me to work. So boom, I start hitting the work. Boom, boom. Again, fast forward, I get lucky. I get my first film, Sunset Park. While we're working on the film, we're helping to bring the script up to date with the slang. So the writer, me and him hit it off, and he grabbed me for his second film, which was A Brother's Kiss with Rosie Perez, Marissa Tomei, John Leguizamo, and all that. So I do that second film, and that parlays another couple of films. And like everybody, if you're easy to work with, a person that's working on one movie is gonna put you in the second one if they're a spot for you.
Right.
So fast forward, you get the 9 films. Also being a comedian, knowing and working with radio, doing after work spots, hosting their comedy. When the opportunity came up for Kiss FM after Isaac Hayes and Tom Joyner, they wanted to get a local radio morning show. And they got my boy Jeff Fox, they got Shayla and Bob Slade, who are local radio greats, and they needed a comedian, and everybody was like, call who you want, Jeff. Jeff was like, oh, let me call Talent, I think it'd be great. Coincidentally, at the same time that Jeff was checking for me, there's a showcase at Caroline's that they called me the host. This showcase, which I didn't know at the time, was a showcase for the comedian for the same morning show. So even the executives had no idea they were going to see me. They were coming to see 3 or 4 guys that was on the showcase. I was just called the host. So I get down there, and just in hosting, being as funny as I was that night in hosting, at the end of the thing, they forgot about all the guys they there to see. It was like, who's this guy? So they wait around, they call me out, and they're like, yo. So I do end up, that radio ended up parlaying into just over 9 years on the radio. In New York. So